is going to be, could potentially be like game changing for like search system. Jenny Q, I would love to hear what you have to say.
Thank you again. Following Josh, what he was sharing earlier about China and AI, I've heard a lot about that. Um, I just wanted to add a small piece on the political side between the U.S. and China with the recent balloon situation. I believe the Biden administration had sent cease and desist letters or ban a lot of the U.S. companies that were suppliers for China to create such kind of balloons. Now, I don't know the tension between U.S. and China politically as well, because I'm not a politician. But I would bet more on the AI that is outside of China. And that's just my take. And in terms of whatever China is building when it comes to AI of all sorts, I don't know if that will be utilized. And I've also heard that the Biden administration may even ban TikTok from the United States. And that's the reason why we're seeing U.S. companies such as Instagram and YouTube. YouTube recently updated their um, uh, 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 YouTubers, influencer agreements with them to use more what's called shorts, SHORT, instead of long-winded videos, so they could get paid more. So is that a sign that these companies such as YouTube, if they're shifting their, what we all know is if it's not broken, don't fix it, but they're literally fixing it. I have a lot of friends who are YouTubers. They literally make nothing but fees from YouTube's and advertiser, travel around the world, eating a bunch of food. And now when I recently talked to them, they say, Jenny, we're shifting out of long videos into shorts. And I say, why? And they said, we don't know. We just received a letter from YouTube, like within the last, I would say 2 to 3 weeks. They said that they're not going to pay long videos as high as the short ones. Wow. And so I'm just trying to put two and two together. So, yes, I just wanted to add that piece. I value Josh's opinion. I've been following him, and I talk to him one on one. Super, super intelligent guy. But that's just my only take about AI from China. But everything else, it's been a great panel this morning, and grateful to be in the room with everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny, for chiming in and all the questions and things that you've added. It's been great to have. I love having as many people on the stage and definitely people who speak up. So thank you. It's kind of interesting on the side of the social media stuff. And like you mentioning that, like TikTok being banned in the US, but that was something they had mentioned. I think even back in like 2020, they had said something about it a long time ago. So I don't know if it'll ever actually happen. Because I feel like if it was going to, it would have happened a long time ago. I'm just heavily in the social media side of things, so I've been like deep diving on all of this, and I think on YouTube and such, they definitely are pulling towards that short term video. But it's because younger generations attention spans and our attention spans in general are shorter, so they're seeing an influx of use on the short form video versus long form. So why they're paying more there, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you're right. Maybe there is like it is actually gonna take place. But it's always interesting. I think like all of this kind of goes hand in hand. The tech side of things will like one thing always it's domino effect, right? One thing always impacts another. Um, so we definitely went over our time. I usually try to only have our spaces go for an hour, and it's been over two.
Oh God.
But it was a really great conversation, and I'm just super excited to have everyone here. And sometimes it's hard to cut these short, especially when we have a larger stage, because I want to give everyone their time to speak. So thank you for everyone who's been here the whole time. And for those who have popped in and out, it's been just incredible to have you all on stage today. Since we already went over, usually I let everyone kind of give a plug, but I just don't think with as large of a stage as we have that I have time to allow that. But I do want to give everyone an opportunity. If there is something that you would like to share, please put it in the comment in the little blue or purple comment section down at the bottom. I'm going to round out the room. So I want to thank everyone again. At the end of every room, I kind of always have a closeout with some reminders coming from Remix. So next week, we have a really exciting week going on. We have our two spaces, as always. So at 9:30 a.m. PST and 12:30 p.m. EST. Usually they run for about an hour, sometimes hour and a half, and obviously today like 2 hours. But on Tuesday we'll have a space that is behind the brand space, which is something new that we're starting, and that is with Web3 fashion brand called Off the Chain. So really excited to have them. We also have an exciting drop happening next week on Tuesday with our friends, the Mods. If you hadn't had a chance to be here, if this is your first time being here, we actually interviewed them. So I would love to have you guys take a second and listen to that spaces. And we had a giveaway while we were in that space for an Ape hoodie, an Ape Mods one of one remix hoodie. So to announce the winner for that today, we had Dark Beat is the winner for that hoodie. We do have another giveaway for the Mods drop that's happening, which is like a really sick pair of sneakers and a hoodie as well, digital wearables. For those who are participating in our Discord missions. So if you want to win some free stuff, go jump in our Discord, go to the mission control, and then you can learn how to enter. And also, I always say this because I forget everything. So if you forget pretty much all of the stuff that I just said, please jump in our Discord. And if you also are not a Discord person, you can just sign up for the email list, and all of that is in the link in our bio. So just want to thank everyone so much for being here and participating and joining in conversation. And I really, honestly, I had so much fun today. I really hope that we can have more. I feel like we could go on and on in the chats about AI, especially with this entire stage. You guys were incredible. Thank you so much for all the knowledge that you've shared today. It was really great. It felt good. So thank you again all for being here. Please, if you have anything, Joshua, Maximilian, Doll, Cleo, Jenny Q, Yasmin, Irina, if any of you guys have anything that you want to share, please just drop it in that link below. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you.
That was quite a long space and very little information. What are we going to do about that? Want to hear Biden? Talking about AI.
So that everyone can access vital information about law enforcement. It means providing better technical assistance to rural communities so farmers and ranchers can secure federal funding to sustain and grow their businesses. Agencies are also prioritizing equity in implementing new programs that invest in American communities under landmark legislation, including the American Rescue Plan, the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, the CHIPS and Science Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act. To give you just a few examples, through these landmark laws, we're replacing poisonous lead pipes that go into 10 million homes and 400,000 schools and child care centers, so every child in this country can drink clean water. We're replacing the nation's existing fleet of school buses with clean and zero-emission buses to ensure that cleaner and healthier air is available for our children and families. We're relieving debt obligations for tens of thousands of distressed farm loan borrowers and farmers who've experienced discrimination. We're deploying record investments to tribal nations and native communities to provide affordable high-speed internet, safer roads and bridges, modern wastewater and sanitation systems, clean drinking water, reliable and affordable electricity, and programs for climate resilience and drought mitigation. We're closing long-standing loopholes that enabled for-profit colleges to aggressively target veterans and service members and low-income students. And we're conducting robust outreach to veterans, particularly veterans in underserved communities, to ensure that they know they are eligible for benefits and health care under the newly enacted PACT Act. Already, we've achieved the most equitable economic recovery in memory and created a record 12 million jobs, including 800,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs. We brought down unemployment nationwide, and in particular for Black and Latino workers, for whom unemployment rates are now near 50-year lows. And we're keeping our foot on the gas. Equity remains a key priority for President Biden, and he reaffirmed his unwavering commitment to this equity mandate today with his second executive order on further advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. This new executive order strengthens the administration's commitment to build an America in which all can participate, prosper, and reach their full potential. The executive order directs federal agencies to publish annual action plans about how each agency
way to segment
is
that if you
leveraging
want
all
to.
of its resources and
So,
programs to advance more
I
equitable
think there's a lot of
outcomes.
kind of
In
personalities and
developing
personas
these action
in
plans,
kind of the crypto
executive
Twitter
order
space
directs
who
agencies
are
to
kind of
engage regularly in
undoxed and
consultation
go by
with
an NFT
underserved
as a profile
communities,
picture and by a
especially those
nickname.
communities that face
And
legacy
that
exclusion.
NFT is essentially then your face in sort of the metaverse or whatever we want to call it. And that's kind of a way to prove that, okay, this is the same person that I'm talking to. And that can be kind of like completely fine. We don't really need people's real faces as part of that persona, but we need to identify that person in some way. And I think same with the scores, it can actually be
Have a
sort of
voice.
split where you build one professional persona with your Cleoverse proof of talent badges and various DeFi assets. And then we did hear there's somebody now creating a platform called OnlyLens, where you can probably imagine what it's going to be containing. So you probably want to, in many cases, make a separate profile for that. And kind of that's going to be completely fine. And that's why you can have multiple wallets and kind of just don't try to use sort of the same assets for kind of multiplying your persona, but build it separately.
Yeah, no, I think it's I mean it's great to see that we're all kind of seeing at least, we know that the goal is there, right? And I think it's great to see that we're all pushing toward the same goal, where there's not one way for you to be online, right? And that's great. And you pick and choose your own adventure,
Nice.
and hopefully there will be more and more teams that are willing to kind of support whatever you want your adventure to look like. So I think it's pretty great to hear that you also guys are looking at it that way.
Cool, and I actually just wanted to remind the audience that there's like a cool little galaxy quest they can do if they're part of the space to claim a little SPT from Favor. So that's open for the next 15 minutes, and maybe Tommy can add a little bit more there, because I think you guys put together that little campaign for this Google Space.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Saska again.
Yes, Tommy. So Saska here from Favor side as well. So we are doing always when we are organizing these kind of online activities, we are either dropping an OAT on Galaxy or West token on Link3 to keep track of all the wonderful people who spent their time with us online. And as I mentioned in the pinned tweet to the space, that it might very well in the future have some reputational perks in Favor app as well. So don't miss it. There's like 15 more minutes to claim it.
Awesome. And talking about opportunities right now, we're running kind of an opportunity with Favor. If you have a DJ Score beacon, you can connect it to Favor and get a really awesome role on their product and actually get allow listed for Lens. So it's been really cool to see a bunch of our community already engaged in this opportunity. But if there's anyone else out there who has a beacon and didn't know, that's definitely something you can do right now, which we think is pretty cool and an interesting way to kind of get onboarded onto one of the fastest growing Web3 social products.
Yeah, and it's amazing. We have right now 544 beacons connected in the last 2 days since releasing the opportunity. So people have been super active on this one. It's now kind of the most connected type of asset we have on the kind of besides the Soulbound token that we use for authenticating with your Twitter, but out of the kind of external profiles, this is by far the most popular one now.
That's very cool. That's actually like one of our then top kind of performing opportunities, I'd say, or like one of the top three, which is really, really cool to hear. Yeah, beacons are kind of like right now there's really kind of advanced users, so it's awesome I think for any kind of product to bring them on, and it's really cool to see that Favor has had like a lot of success with their campaign. So you can check that out in the DJ Score Cafe along with other kind of opportunities that are available to beacon holders. One thing I wanted to kind of touch on as we kind of nearing roughly the end of the space is just kind of lessons learned from building Favor so far. So I think when I think about kind of crypto entrepreneurs or builders in the space, like we're all kind of building on this frontier right now that's kind of being defined as we build it. Like the whole landscape feels like it shifts every 6 months, and tools that a lot of tooling isn't there as a builder, and so you have to build it yourself, or it's created suddenly 3-4 months later and it allows a product to be created that wasn't possible before. So it'd be cool to hear kind of a bit around your story building Favor and kind of what you learned along the way to get it to where it is today.
Yeah, I think it's been sort of like a very iterative quest so far, where kind of we just try to keep learning as fast as possible, and obviously like building in the Web3 social space is kind of very blue ocean right now, where kind of nobody has really made it work so far. People have crashed and burned, and there's probably a lot of reasons and learnings from there. But kind of eventually somebody will be getting it right, and it's about kind of finding that path right now.
Nobody will.
Where kind of initially, for example, we did kind of like one of the parts where we learned the most is sort of the like gamification and the upcoming token economy, because we are kind of building a favor token where the idea is to use that as a way to kind of provide liquidity between those people who have essentially earned a surplus of points inside the application, so have been sort of like net contributors, and then they can actually kind of sell those in the market in token exchanges or crypto exchanges to those people, for example, brands who want to use those for advertising, or people who want to kind of promote their content or want to kind of be part of the gamification more. And obviously these are notoriously difficult mechanisms to make work in like any sort of setup, where we obviously don't want to incentivize people to do wrong things or enable farming or kind of other like non-useful behavior, but at the same time kind of want to keep it sort of entertaining and easy enough for people that they kind of feel like they're being rewarded. So one kind of example of a learning, for example, is that we have this mechanism called staking in our product, where it essentially means that everybody gets 5 tokens a day or stakes a day that they can give for their 5 favorite posts. And what we obviously initially learned was that people, not surprisingly, are creating a lot of accounts so they can get more stakes and they can go stake their original account, which is one of the key reasons why we are now building the kind of cred score, where instead of requesting your phone number or an email that are actually, again, like very easy to fake and kind of duplicate, you kind of need to start building that reputation, and each asset can only be used once. So then it's going to be increasingly difficult to kind of multi-account and create level 2 and above profiles. So then those stakes are actually going to be a lot more legitimate, because you can't do what you do on Twitter as well, where you can buy yourself fake followers and fake likes and fake engagement, because they were no longer kind of, those fake accounts won't be eligible for kind of getting the stakes. And this will then sort of like lead us also towards sort of more higher quality posts. And similarly, we saw on the other front, the kind of posters realized that, hey, if I do 1,000 posts a day, then probably I get more stakes because more people will see at least one of my posts. So we actually shifted the earnings into the premium topics, where it costs you 50 points to make a post, but then you get 10 times higher rewards for each stake that you receive. And this has actually been working really well. So it's been kind of incentivizing people to create higher quality posts, because then you actually end up losing points if you just keep spamming it with irrelevant or low quality content. And the only way really, especially after we kind of eliminate the fake stakers out of the process, the only way to really succeed is to create content that real people actually appreciate and give kind of part of their finite amount of stakes per day for that. So I think this is one where we've been learning a lot and iterating a lot during the year, but we're, I think, finally getting very close to a point where we can actually make it sustainable. And that's obviously a precursor for the token launch as well, where we gear towards this summer, but want to make sure that everything actually works in the meanwhile. So we're not just giving out tokens to the wrong people.
Yeah, like one of the main reasons why, you know, we are tweaking the system and trying to be very careful with, you know, with kind of curbing cheating and all of this stuff is that, you know, as opposed to the route that the Web2 social medias took, like, for example, Facebook raised 13 billion before their IPO, and that all those returns essentially went to the VCs. So instead, what we want to do is kind of already start distributing these points and, like, you know, make it as fair as possible. You know, the more value you bring to the platform, the more you should be kind of receiving back from it when the tokens are launched. So, you know, basically providing these returns to the people who helped to bootstrap
crypto, basically.
So that's why we are trying to be very, very careful in terms of how we allocate the points, which then will be converted